What's going on, everybody? Welcome back here to another update on this Friday evening, and hope everybody's having a wonderful week out there so far. Wonderful Friday. We're talking about a major snowstorm that it's on its way out of the United States as we go into this weekend, leaving behind some pretty significant totals. We got some pictures to show you, and we're looking at a cold weather pattern into next week, followed by another big January snowstorm. So we got a lot to talk about here in the video. If you're new, make sure to subscribe to the channel and check back often for updates. We do pretty much 2 a days. We do a video late morning, early afternoon, and then another one around 9 o'clock in the evening, mid-evening. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video by giving it a thumbs up, and share this video on social media and with your friends and family. Definitely appreciate it. Let's look at the snowfall reports as they continue to come in over the past 24 hours, and notice southeast Oklahoma, far north Texas here, and into Arkansas, southern Missouri are really kind of the bullseye so far for those 8 to 12, even 12 to 18 inch snows into the Little Rock area over here in towards the northern side of the DFW Metroplex and all the way up toward Branson, Missouri over the past 24 hours. So we are still seeing some snowfall reports coming in from the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, and even parts of the deep south here over the next 24 hours. We'll share those with you as we do get them. Here are some people who have sent in pictures from the snowfall. Roy Ponder from Dallas, Texas, showing some pretty decent snow. You can see the snow on the rooftops there, slushy snow on the roads, and covering the grass there in Dallas, Texas. So very impressive to see the snow that far south. Here is Leanne Sitzema from Crossville, Tennessee, and looking at her backyard, definitely seeing a lot of snow covering the grass there, covering the deck, the table, and everything, and even on the trees. So definitely seeing a lot of snowfall down there into eastern Tennessee as well. Let's update you on the weather alerts across the country. In the lighter purples, up here in the Ohio Valley and extending as far north as Michigan, we have those winter weather advisories. Travel will be a little bit difficult in some of these areas. And then especially in those pinks, winter storm warnings, those are where travel will be most difficult over the next couple of hours as this system does move through. And these will drop off from west to east as the system does exit. So looking at the central United States, heading into the weekend here and really heading into this evening, we're seeing quieter weather here, so not much snow to go around. Maybe a little bit here of some snowflakes across Illinois, but other than that, really not seeing much across those areas in the central U.S. Tonight, travel will be a-okay. So if you're traveling around the DFW Metroplex, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Little Rock, things will be improving nicely as we go through tonight. And looking at the east, we still got that major snowstorm to contend with this evening, so we're looking at snowfall all the way up into Ontario, by the way. So this is not just a U.S. snowstorm. We're actually seeing some snowfall in Toronto and over here into portions of southeast Ontario. Even as far north as Michigan, we're seeing some snow in Detroit, Grand Rapids, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Toledo, all the way down to Dayton and Columbus. We're seeing that as well. Charleston, West Virginia, we're seeing snow flying in the Richmond, Virginia area, all the way up here toward Washington, D.C., and some snowfall even in northern North Carolina this evening. That rain-snow line going to be tricky still for the Carolinas going into the overnight hours. I think most of the coastal Carolinas will remain all liquid, so all rain overnight. Snowfall will overspread areas like New Jersey, Pennsylvania, especially eastern Pennsylvania, so the Poconos region, all the way down there toward Baltimore and Philadelphia, seeing some snow, and then up there toward Albany, New York City, Long Island, all the way up into Hartford and Connecticut. We're starting to see some snow overnight tonight, and then those snowflakes will continue further east, although light snow for places like Boston, Cape Cod, all the way down to Providence, and even up toward Augusta and Portland and there into Maine Saturday morning. And then as we go into Saturday afternoon, things should start to quiet down from west to east as the main body of the system is off of the East Coast heading into that time frame. Here's the additional snowfall we expect between now and Sunday, January 12th, this weekend. And notice on average around 1 to 3 inches across parts of the Ohio Valley like Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, down here into Kentucky, maybe a 4-inch total in eastern Kentucky, cannot be ruled out. Over here in West Virginia, you can see the Appalachian chain there, maybe a little bit of some enhanced 5, 6, 7-inch totals in those areas in the higher elevations of West Virginia, and then a couple more inches to come for southern Virginia and northwestern North Carolina. Further south from there, it'll be either a mixture of rain, snow, sleet, and freezing rain, or all rain across the coastal Carolinas. Looking at the ice potential to come, I think this is a little overdone, but I do think there is still still a 1 to 2/10 of an inch of ice to come for South Carolina here, all the way down to the low country, all the way over into eastern North Carolina as well. So make sure to take it slow out with travel out there over the next 24 hours or so. Going into tonight, travel will be a little bit difficult across these areas, especially into the Carolinas, Virginia here, in northern Georgia as well. So the Atlanta metro over here toward Columbia, getting into Asheville, North Carolina, Charlotte, all the way up toward Richmond. Going to be difficult. Minor travel disruptions further north. So Michigan, Detroit, down to Indianapolis, Columbus, Dayton, into the Cincinnati area, Louisville, Charleston, West Virginia here as well, seeing some minor travel disruptions through tonight. Things will quiet down Saturday. The plow crews will get out there and they'll salt the roads, and they will definitely clear out the roads with snowfall, and we'll see travel really start to improve as we go through the day on Saturday. Behind the system, we're going to be talking about some colder air filtering in, so it's going to be a pretty cold weekend across the southeast. Temperatures will be 20 degrees below normal for both Saturday and Sunday. And looking at Saturday, we have northwest flow in the jet stream being established, so that means we're bringing colder air down from Canada. And while we're doing that, we still have moisture to wring out, and a lot of that is going to be snow across the north here from Montana into Wyoming, the Dakotas here, including the Black Hills of South Dakota, and then over here into northern Minnesota as well. And notice it's going to be very light snow, kind of disorganized as well. So not any really particular area that will see snow, just kind of a series of clipper systems and a lot of energy moving down from Canada. So Wisconsin, northern Illinois, eastern Iowa could see that Saturday night. And places like Chicago, Milwaukee, up to Green Bay, even over here in towards northern lower Michigan, areas that really haven't seen a lot of snow this winter, may get in on maybe an inch or so of snow as we go here into Sunday. The heaviest really concentrated up here toward the lakes, so closer to Lake Superior you get in northern Lake Michigan, you'll see a couple inches of snow, especially for the upper peninsula of Michigan, maybe 2 to 4 inches. 1 to 3 across northern Wisconsin into the Arrowhead of Minnesota. Other than that, the further south you go, things will kind of trickle down to under an inch as you get toward Chicago, Des Moines, and also down toward Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin as well. Let's look at next week into Monday, January 13th. Cold air, another blast of cold air coming in from the north, and that's going to continue. And the heart of that cold air will be across the east by the middle of next week on Wednesday, January 15th. And let's look at some of these morning lows for Wednesday. We could be below zero, and you can kind of pinpoint on this model where that fresh snowpack is. Those are the areas that are going to likely be zero or even a few degrees below zero for morning lows there on Wednesday morning. Same thing up here in Minnesota, Wisconsin, with that clipper system coming in. You're getting 1 to 3 or even 2 to 4 inches of snow. That'll keep our temperatures below zero to start Wednesday morning. And look at our wind chills. Won't take much of a wind to knock these wind chills down to -5 to even -15 in some areas in the Ohio Valley, over here into the Alps, across West Virginia, and even up into Wisconsin. A lot of -20s up here, and that extends back into the Arrowhead of Minnesota, maybe even a -25 up there in parts of northeast Minnesota Wednesday morning with the wind chills. So it's going to be cold out there. Make sure to bundle up. But then we have return flow later next week. So a week from today on Friday, January 17th, flow comes in more out of the south and west and will establish a little bit warmer temperatures. Will it be warm like 70s? No, it's January, but we're definitely seeing some milder temperatures compared to what we have been seeing, and that probably will feel like summer, believe it or not. Looking at precipitation next week, pretty scarce across the lower 48 and also much of southern Canadian provinces here from British Columbia all the way east to Ontario. Really not seeing too much, and it's January, so a lot of that moisture will be snow. And we're just not seeing a lot. We do have a clipper storm track further up into central or southern Canada there as we go into next week between Monday, January 13th and the 17th next Friday. And you can see pretty heavy snows over here into Alaska and up into Yukon and western British Columbia. There is that clipper storm track across northern Alberta, northern and central Saskatchewan, central Manitoba, and then down here into Ontario, western Quebec. Could see a few inches to several inches of snow with this type of clipper system track through central and southern Canada next week. A lot of people have been talking about the big storm that may be coming here into the third week of January, the 19th, kind of 20th, maybe 21st time frame. Let's look at some ensembles here. So this is the ECMWF ensemble. This is the European ensemble guidance, kind of averaging around the 19th, 20th of the month. Notice how we're having more of a positively tilted trough here. That means ahead of this system, we're going to have mild air, a little bit of a ridge in the east, so milder temperatures out ahead of this system, cold air behind it. We got big blocking up here in Alaska and Western Canada, so this will support cold air and a snowstorm track as well. You can see on the Euro has a low developing somewhere on the base of this trough down into Texas and moving up the Ohio Valley, and on the northwest side of that track, like the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and Central Plains could have some heavy snow. On the either side of the warmer side of the system, over in the Carolinas and Georgia and Florida and stuff like that, we'll see more rain. Looking at the GFS ensemble, a little bit further north with this and a little bit weaker as well, but you can see it's also a little bit further east with the storm track, kind of originating down here near the Gulf Coast and moving more so up the East Coast, which would be maybe a nor'easter setup in the GFS ensemble. And then the CMC, the Canadian ensemble guidance, kind of more in line with the Euro and showing more of that kind of, Texas to Ohio Valley and interior New England storm track, which would put the heavy snow back across the Great Lakes, the Midwest, and also the Central Plains. This will be bringing some very cold air, though, behind it. So whatever we do see from that system, the 19th through the 24th, it's going to be very cold here in the lower 48 and very widespread cold. So not anybody really besides Florida going to be seeing below normal temperatures all the way across the United States besides central and southern Florida, southern Canada as well. And looking here at the Climate Prediction Center, they did update this here this afternoon. We did have a slight risk of some heavy snow further west. They have shifted this a little bit further east on the 18th to the 20th, include more of the Northeast here, all the way through the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley included again, back here into parts of the Midwest like Illinois, Missouri, and then back here into the Plains, even Four Corners region like Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona having the chance of some heavy snow during this period. And then on the warm side, of course, we do have an upgrade to a moderate risk for heavy precipitation, which would be all rain from Louisiana, the Gulf Coast states really here across Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Northwest Florida. And this could honestly go to a high risk if we do get closer, so we'll keep an eye on that. Well, pretty active weather pattern will continue. We have some snow coming across the east as we go through the next 24 hours. Just make sure to take it slow on the travel out there across the east. Just be smart about it. And looking here at cold as we go into next week, and then a bigger system potentially by late January, around that 19th, 20th, 21st time frame. We'll keep you updated. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. Check back often for updates. Like the video by giving it a thumbs up down below, and of course share this video with friends, family, and on social media. I really do appreciate it. Hope everybody has a great rest of their Friday out there.